Welcome to episode 367, where I'm discussing the Ayurvedic practice of tongue diagnosis. The tongue reveals a lot about our current state of health, including where the imbalances are located in the body, what doshas are imbalanced, and lots more. So please stay tuned. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. Hello, and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. It's me, Colette, today for a solo episode on tongue diagnosis. It's a very important diagnostic technique in Ayurveda. The tongue is a muscular organ for speech, taste, food manipulation, and mastication. And along with these important functions, did you know that your tongue is like a map of your body, with different areas of your tongue representing different organs? The size and shape of your tongue depends on your doshic makeup. And the tongue is a reflection of your internal physical, mental, and emotional health. So let's take a look at our tongues. And ideally, what we want to observe is that the tongue should be pinkish color all over. The tongue should be moist, neither dry or have too much saliva. And there should be no cracks, teeth marks, or indentations on the sides of the tongue. Now, as I said, the size of your tongue will depend on your doshic makeup. And if you have a Vata predominant constitution, your tongue may be small and slender. If you have a Pitta predominant constitution, your tongue may be medium-sized and a slightly deeper pink or reddish color all over. And if you have a Kapha predominant constitution, your tongue may be larger, wider, and more moist. So I'm going to take you on a tour of a map of your tongue. And if you can, it would be great for you to look in a mirror as we're doing this. The center line of your tongue represents your spinal cord. So we're going to stay along that center line and travel from the front to the back of the tongue now. And I want you to think of your tongue as divided into 3 bands from front to back. The first third or the first band of the tongue from the tip along the center line is related to the heart. Staying along that center line of the tongue, the middle third is related to the stomach, so that's just after the heart. And then going back further, it's related to the pancreas, which sits again on the center line behind the area related to the stomach. And now traveling to the final third at the very back of the tongue, staying on the center line, this area is related to the intestines. Now let's come back to the tip of the tongue again, and we're going to travel along the sides of the tongue now. The front third of the tongue, and we're looking at the sides of the tongue now, is related to the lungs. The left side reflecting the left lung and the right side reflecting the right lung. Now we're at the middle third on the sides of your tongue, and on the left side, we have the spleen, and on the right side, the liver. Moving back to the final third on the sides, which represents the kidneys. The left side reflects the left kidney, and the right side reflects the right kidney. Observing and cleaning your tongue is a very important part of Ayurvedic self-care practices. Every morning you will notice a coating on your tongue, which is a result of amar or toxins being eliminated from the body. This coating should be scraped from your tongue every morning. But before you do that, you want to observe the color, the texture, and the type of coating on your tongue. And then use a tongue scraper or stainless steel spoon and scrape from the back to the front, rinsing in between each scraping. By regularly observing your tongue, you can gain insights into your internal health and catch potential imbalances before they manifest into larger health issues. So now I'm going to talk about some of the signs of imbalances and disorders manifesting on your tongue. But before I do that, I have a question for you. Have you heard about the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community? Being part of a community is an important factor in our health and well-being. It gives us a sense of belonging and enables us to share and support each other. When I talk to clients, they tell me how hard it is to find others interested in Ayurveda in their local area. And as we make changes to our lives and our Ayurvedic journey, it's important to have a place to communicate with others and to get that support. This is why I set up the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community. It's a private space on my website away from social media where we can connect with like-minded people and chat about Ayurveda and support each other and hold each other accountable. For a small monthly fee, you'll receive early access to the weekly podcast episodes, regular Zoom calls with the community to discuss podcast episodes or other Ayurvedic questions, group challenges for motivation and accountability, and a private place to connect with others passionate about Ayurveda. So if you're interested in checking out the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community, just click on the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and go to the events page for more details on that. And I hope to connect with you there. Okay, let's move on to the possible signs of imbalance on the tongue. The first one is the ama or toxins, which I mentioned earlier, and that you will find a coating of ama on your tongue in the morning, and a thin layer is normal. However, if this coating becomes thicker or discolored, this is a sign of an imbalance and suggests an accumulation of ama or toxins in the body. If this coating appears in the center back of the tongue, the area which represents the intestines, then these toxins are located in the digestive system. And you may notice other digestive issues like excessive bloating, gas, and sluggishness in the digestive tract. Now, if there's a vata imbalance, the tongue may be pale in color, and the coating on the tongue can appear grayish or brown. The tongue may appear dry and have irregular cracks or fissures on the surface. If there's a pitta imbalance, the tongue may be reddish in color, and the coating on the tongue can appear yellow, orange, greenish color, and the tongue can be inflamed with ulcers or sores. If there's a kapha imbalance, the tongue may have a thick, white and cloudy coating rather than clear, and there may be a sticky or thick mucus or excess saliva. Another condition we can observe on the tongue is dehydration, which will result in a dry, shriveled, or cracked tongue. Inflammation or infection in the body can result in a tongue which is red and possibly swollen with sores or ulcers, and a yellow coating can also suggest an infection. Digestive issues like heartburn, acid reflux, and indigestion can be reflected by a redness at the tip of the tongue or along the edges of the tongue. Malabsorption, unabsorbed nutrients, or imbalanced assimilation of nutrients can be reflected by a scalloped edge on the side of the tongue or teeth marks on the tongue. Nutritional deficiencies can appear as a smooth, shiny, or a glossed over tongue. Anemia can result in a pale or light-colored tongue, and a pale tongue is often a sign of low iron levels, which affects the body's ability to carry oxygen in the blood. Hypothyroidism, fluid retention, and stagnant lymph can be reflected by a puffy or swollen tongue. Liver or gallbladder issues will be reflected by a yellowish coating, particularly on the sides or center right of the tongue. Stress and mental imbalances can be reflected with a shaky or trembling tongue, sometimes with redness or dryness. If you notice any of these signs of imbalance, you could start by helping your body out. First of all, only eating when you feel hungry. Make sure you're well hydrated, and sipping on hot water can aid your digestion if you're noticing ama on the tongue. And giving your system easy to digest warm foods, using ingredients that are pacifying to your constitution, and focus on your self-care or mindfulness practices, making sure you're managing stress and getting good sleep. And if these changes on your tongue persist, then it's best to consult with an Ayurvedic professional for a comprehensive diagnosis and an individually tailored holistic protocol, which will be put in place to bring balance to the doshas and address the root cause of your imbalances before they manifest into bigger problems down the line. And if you would like support on your journey, then please check out my online services. I offer online consultations where I can address any current imbalances and put together a strategy for your whole life, your diet, your lifestyle, your self-care, your mindfulness practices. And I make sure that this is tailored to you and your lifestyle so that these practices are sustainable. I also offer my Digestive Reset Cleanse, which is a great way to reset the digestive system, eliminate any accumulation of ama and any accumulation of doshas. This cleanse is individually tailored to you. It comes with a 90-minute consultation, so we can have an in-depth chat about your current health status, and I can tailor the recipes, the self-care, the mindfulness, the yoga, etc. to you and your lifestyle. And I support you throughout the cleanse. And if you prefer to study by yourself, I have my online Daily Habits for Holistic Health program. This is a 28-day self-paced program with the objective to help you become your own healer. And you can combine all these services together in my Reset, Restore, Renew program, which consists of several consultations, the Digestive Reset Cleanse, and the Daily Habits for Holistic Health program. Now, I know this is a lot of information, so please check out the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and you'll find comparison charts on my website, which details everything that you get with each service, and that can help you decide what's best for you. And if you want to chat before you book anything, then please take advantage of my free 15-minute online Services Enquiry Call. We can hop on Zoom and I can answer all of your questions. So there you go. That's an insight into the practice of Ayurvedic tongue diagnosis. If you think that this episode will be interesting to family or friends, please share it with them. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, please do so, and the new episodes will automatically download for you. If you feel like you're getting benefit from the podcast, I would really appreciate a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. And please come join me on social media. My new Instagram page is Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. And on Facebook, you'll find me under Elements Healing and Wellbeing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.